Why hello there, and welcome back. I'm Doseku, and this is the second stage to Castlevania NKN. I'm going to refer to it as the backyard, since we technically left the foyer of the castle, and I guess now we're just wandering to the back end, I suppose. This level is a lot more harsher than the previous level that we went through. And the boss here, oh gosh, that guy is a right pain. But you will see what I'm talking about when we get there. First things first, we gotta mow through all these zombies, green skeletons, and lizard men that dot the landscape. Now these are the easiest enemies so far for this stage. There's a couple that are slightly harder, but that's really only because they can attack you while off screen, so if you don't know they're there, you're gonna get hit pretty hard the first time around when you're playing this. Oh, and I figured out how to use sub-items. Basically, it's S and then the attack. Now, as useful as that is to know right now, the stuff that throws like the crucifix, axe, and daggers aren't really going to be useful against the boss. The axe might be useful because it comes out in an arc and doesn't shoot just straight, but the others will fly right over them. Here's our first real enemy, the wizard. The fire wizard here is kind of a butt. This is the first time you'll run into her, and yeah, she's on screen, so it's easy to tell that she's there. But later on, we're gonna come onto a screen where we don't see her, and then when we get hit by her attack, you wouldn't know what's coming because you don't know she's there. Oh yeah, and this game hides platforms and trees. And then again, we'll use the same leaves that we just went through right now to act as a floor. I guess I can say it's kind of bad game design. A lot of this level is kind of bad game design. I really don't like these Medusa heads. Ugh. Oh well, I'm pretty sure the lower path is safer than the upper path. Oh, you see that flame attack right there? Yeah, that's the fire wizard. Come on, here we go. Thankfully, the crucifix does act as a boomerang, so you can use it to hit enemies more than once. And since we're offered another path, I'm going to take the other path since this one seems a lot safer. I saw the bat down there. I don't want to get hit. I'm already low on life as it is. Oh, and that guy. Ha! Thankfully I moved away because he probably would have had a free hit had I went down there. The lizard folk, well, I guess they're the least pain in the butt enemy here because they jump at you and everything. But that can be kind of hard to avoid sometimes. Now we did pick up a whip upgrade, but unlike most Castlevania games where you can upgrade your whip up to 3 times, you can only do it twice here, so we're technically at max power for our whip. It's really unfortunate, but it does at least give us a higher attack power. It doesn't look like it increases our length at all, though. Yeah, it doesn't look like it does it at all. Alright, so now I know the wizard's there, so now we're just going to try to sneak up on him. And hopefully he doesn't hit us. Here we are. Whoa! Suck on that. Alright, so this room. Oh man. Alright, so the brazier right there actually contains a crucifix which will kill all the enemies on screen, with the exception of that blue skull. I'll learn that later on. So I took a whole bunch of hits that I really didn't need to take. Let's take care of this guy. There we go. Alright, so another thing I'd like to note is if you notice whenever we've been picking up money, there's been increasing numbers on the lower left side of the screen there. And that's not how much money is in that particular bag like I initially thought my first run through this particular stage. What it is that it shows you how much money you have now. Since the game doesn't actually have an inventory screen on any of the stages, it's a good way to see how much money you have, especially if you're saving up for particular items. Like I'm doing right now. What I'm really saving for is I'm going to try to save for the ability to heal myself. I believe it's going to become useful later on. This fricker. That arrow guy, he too can hit you from off screen, so you're going to take a hit unless you knew he was there. Oh well. At least we're at the end of this. Take this heart, which we don't really need since I really haven't used any of the sub-items for very long. Huh. That's the easiest lizard man here. Alright. Let's do this. Hate this guy. Alright, so this werewolf is not easy. He has a couple tells, but they don't always show up. His running ability is the worst thing. He can technically run under you, then as soon as you hit the ground, he'll turn around and run at you again before even hitting the other side of the screen. So there are some points where you actually have to jump twice in order to avoid him. But again, he gives no tells of when he does that sometimes. The only time you actually know that he's doing a couple moves, like the jump move, he'll paw at the ground. The fire dash, he'll turn onto fire. I don't know what the howling move does, because he can do that a few times in a row and it doesn't really mean anything. But his worst ability is the one where he just runs. There's no tell for it, it just happens. The best way to possibly deal with him is get him when he's stopped, because if you try to get him while he's in motion, it can become a problem, especially since you technically can't truly damage race him. Yeah, like that. I hate this guy. So as you can see, he's kind of low to the ground, so crucifixes don't work, daggers don't work. The holy water doesn't have much of a distance to it. The only viable sub-item for this particular boss might be the axe, because that requires you to have a certain amount of distance from him, which is good, but by the time you actually get around to executing it, he'll actually probably be rushing at you at that point, which means you're going to be in a bind. And there's no real platform to avoid him either, so you're stuck on level ground with him this entire fight. And touching him anywhere will cause you harm. And that can happen by pure accident as you're trying to get behind him to hopefully avoid his fire dash and everything and get yourself a couple free hits in. Come on. Uh-oh. I think we got this, right? No. Okay. Yeah, at one point I just gave up on trying to use sub-items on him, and now my strategy is to keep as far away from him as possible and just hit him while he's doing the, well, while he's just standing there, since that seems to be the most feasible way to get him. But even that might cause us a lot of pain. on. Yeah, oh gosh. He would have killed us right there. Now here's what I don't get. How can this werewolf guy think we're the monster since we're a human looking person with a whip? Every other monster we've ran into so far has a way to tell that they're a monster, either being a fire wizard or a big giant knight in armor. Not a guy with just a trench coat and a whip. And this guy's artwork in his portrait is ugly. God. I wonder where this portrait got pulled from, because it isn't doing this guy any service. Were-rat. Oh man. I do not know if we actually see any of those here. I've seen rats howl, so no. How? Maybe tigers, but we haven't run into any cat enemies here yet. And those are usually associated with witches if Castlevania lore is anything to go by. Don't forget pizza salesman. Oh, then you don't know Castlevania, do you, were-rat? Whips are what kills the vampires. Although in one game, I think a werewolf did it too. But he too had whips, I think. Yeah, take the more pragmatic route and find the guy's power source before you take him on at full strength. You know what? I'm glad to be rid of you. As much of a pain in the butt as you are, you might be useless in a real fight. I wish you could find that storekeeper again. He was cool. Rat man. Alright, so before we save the game, we're gonna buy some stuff. More explicitly, I'm gonna buy the ability to heal myself because I absolutely believe I need this thing. There we go. Alright, now we can save the game. Alright, so I don't know a real comedy thing here to write in, so I'm just gonna say that wolf sucks. Because gosh darn does he suck. Oh well, put the little exclamation and we'll save. Done. Now we can't exit the screen unless we go back into the store, so I guess we'll do that. Here we are. Alright, so thanks for watching and join me next time as we enter the castle's living room. I'll see you there.